Probably even watched part of last night's tours. So everybody kind of sees me in that picture, orange, red, and yellow. It's kind of nice when you guys watch it ahead of time. That way I don't have to go through a full explanation. So everything behind me should be somewhat blue and black in color because it's obviously going to be colder than my skin. Okay, so if you take me out of the picture, it's going to fluctuate based on whatever's inside the screen. Okay, so it's going to fluctuate. Sorry, I know it's a large group. So with that being said, what we're looking for here are anything blue or black to actually move on its own. So we're looking for those black spots that just show up out of nowhere. Now later on, if we have enough time, I'll show you in the location, I actually caught 2 figures black, coldest area in the screen, walking by a wall. And I have a point of reference of 2 alive people walking the opposite direction about 20 seconds beforehand. So we do capture things with this. It is a very interesting tool. So Sam, did I get the name right? Yes. Look at me, guys. I'm on it. Sam, we're going to go with you on this guy. Okay. So now, did you see the red square on your screen?
Yep, I see it.
Yep. That means it's recording.
Got it.
If it turns to a circle, you need to hit it again and let me know. Now, Sam, if I have to splice videos together, it's going to delay the time you guys get your stuff. So Sam will be the jerk of the group.
Yeah.
Jerk is my term. You guys
Maybe he's not the best.
You also are covering the camera with your hand right now.
You're mad because I got a cooler tool than you. Oh, here we go.
There you go. All right, so don't pay any attention to the timer on there because if you accidentally flip it, then... Okay. But keep it horizontal so we have a nice YouTube video to watch later.
The first little bit's going to be...
How hot is it? We're going to stick with thermal imaging just for a few minutes, just so you guys all get a gist of how that thing's going to work. I'm not here to make things up for you guys. You guys know I'm working on a PhD next year, and I actually need real data. I want to debunk what Sam finds. So, first thing we're going to use, you guys all know what this guy is by now, right? So it's surface temperature. It's only going to measure where the red dot lands. So the red dot obviously tells us what the temperature of the ground is. Now, Sam stands where I am, and then there's a blue spot on that wall, and everything around it is orange and red. I'm going to check it first. And if it's the same temperature along the wall, I now need to know between Sam and the wall where that blue spot's coming from. Does that make sense? The camera does not see in 3D. That's where this guy comes into play. This is an ambient thermometer. It's going to measure through the probe only. So again, not surface temperature, air around the probe. So I'm going to move this along to find out where that blue spot is. You're going to help him with that. So you get both of those. You guys are the temperature team. You guys got that?
Got it.
Now the yellow is almost like you could slide it in your pocket because we really want to use the gun most of the night. We'll use the yellow one when we need to kind of verify that we actually have something. The bottom number is the actual temperature. The top one is the humidity. I don't care about humidity tonight, so there isn't much of it.
Car's on fire. It's pretty hot.
Spirit boxes. You all know what a spirit box is? No. Okay, good. I don't mind explanations. Perfectly fine. So spirit boxes, we're going to use several of them tonight. Now, listen up. Don't interfere. Spirit boxes will sweep through FM radio stations pretty quickly. On your ghost hunting shows, it's that annoying static noise, and then they put a phrase up of what they think they want you to hear. So you're going to do it in real time. The nice thing about this one is it's going to record the entire thing for you, the entire sweep only. It will not record any of us or the noise around us, even when it's on mute. So even when I say spirit box is down, so I can tell you the quick gist of the story, then you guys will actually, it'll still record for us at a nice even level. It's beautiful. I love this device. So I just told you guys I did the Flight 93 memorial. Do you think I was going around turning the spirit box up? No. I turned this thing on mute, slid it in my pocket, and I got to enjoy the memorial and pay my respects. So I love this gadget. It's wonderful. So it's already started. I have this one slowed down. Now your TV shows have it so fast, right? So you only hear static. I want you to tell me what the DJ says, song lyrics are, commercials, any phrase or word you can make out could be a message. So I'll think of it as Bumblebee from Transformers. It's the easiest way to think of it. You guys see that movie? Okay, good. I was hoping I didn't have a bad reference. So, again, you can already see that it's flipping to the stations. So there's a little volume still right here at the top.
How when I get the baby?
How does it?
Baby.
It's a hot baby.
Can you see it moving in there? What if it was cold?
It's a little cold in there. It's probably, well, it's insulated.
Alright, we're going to stick with spirit boxes for a minute. So, because I have another one. This is the most common one, the one you'll find on your TV shows. It's the SB7. You guys will see me reference that in your notes. So, this one doesn't record. That's the only difference on this one. So, I'm actually going to go to two of yours. So, there's literally only one button on the back of the speaker. It goes however you want it to go. Click right on the back of it. This one likes to act up. This one, again, likes to act up a little bit. It's gonna have to be really close down here. I know it's a lot of traffic. Answer a couple. Not really in that situation. Okay. All right.
You have the most important job.
I have a pretty important job. I'm just saying.
I said
I'm gonna have great
she might be
eyes.
responsible one.
Oh, that's what he wants you to think.
No offense, but he's dressed that way. So
Yeah, there you go. Dressed like an adult.
He's dressed like an adult.
Okay.
I was gonna wear my Casper shirt tonight, but I'm like, nah, I got 2 groups of 10. I better brand myself instead. So I'm putting together the neuralizer for Men in Black. So I'm gonna need all of you to stare at the tip here in a second. Nobody got the Men in Black joke?
Yeah.
Just, I know they get at least a chuckle.
Sorry.
This
very
guy
serious.
is actually a grid pen.
Whoa.
So what does this guy do? Obviously we're all staring at green dots, but what's in between the pen and the green dots? Lasers.
Lasers.
So it helps us see things that we can't normally see with the naked eye. The reason why I was looking for a responsible person is because this can get Nick arrested and in handcuffs and taken away, and then our ghost story ends. So the way we use this guy is literally straight down and maybe out 5 feet in front of you, away from your feet, so I don't have weird pictures going on. Of like, oh, what's that? Oh, it's his shoe. So you want to try to keep it on flat surfaces. So also the tip of it actually turns, so we can get dizzy if you want.
Oh, that's
but
cool.
I try to make it as many dots as possible, so that way there's more lasers shooting out. So
What's it do?
it'll actually, if it goes past us through it, or if we get an apparition, it will literally go through pretty quickly, and if you're going to have a camera, I now know where that's going to go. So you're going to be taking pictures of basically through his laser, and he's going to get another one.
But how fast is it going to go through?
Pretty fast.
So how is she going to know to?
She's just going to take a lot of pictures. We actually
That's
caught
a
one
lot.
last night. It'll literally go through just like a blip, just like that.
Wow. Jennifer's
It's
got
going
it.
to be really small.
You got it. You got it.
Yep. Exactly.
There I go.
Speed on by.
Tyler, are you responsible enough for this?
I don't know.
Can you handle it?
I think so.
That's what I said.
Honestly,
Sam's
that's
the
what I'm
most
thinking.
important.
Yeah, I'm really glad everybody believes in me.
The next one, whoop, not in the
guys
eyes.
wanna
Good
do
job,
something?
epilepsy guy. So this one actually gives us red squares. Why do I want squares? Because in the event we actually capture a picture here, I can then put that in 3D software, and you guys will have a full view of the apparition we caught. I haven't caught anything with this one yet. It's relatively new. I've only had it for a few months. Don't cross the streams.
Don't cross the street. That's a Ghostbusters
green and
reference,
red.
Nicole.
Yeah,
Ghostbusters.
I'm a weird movie buff. I give random lines. I'll use As You Wish all the time too,
Yeah.
if anybody gets that one.
Yeah,
So,
Princess Bride.
relatively simple camera. Point and shoot. On and off button, point and shoot. The rule of thumb for you is nobody along the wall
Yeah,
can be in the
you
picture.
have a really hot
Somebody
sun.
signed grace in
Real
reality when I have
It is hot. It is hotter.
It
It
is
also
hotter.
doesn't have a flash. The reason for that is because I don't want false
Sure enough.
positives. My
For
wife
real,
does
right
all the
there,
graphic design work and
right in the
photography
uterus.
work and stories. So I don't want to analyze every little flash off of the window. So
It's also
I'll
got a
give you guys
3D
some
thing
first.
going
You know
on.
that's recorded.
I know it's recorded.
Alright, so what do I have left? What's in the bag? So, you guys have such a large group, if you guys decide to swap things out, I'm sure
yeah.
you guys will be kind of friendly with that. Just keep it within your group. And I'm sorry I only even got one device to be able to swap, but that's a team type of tool. So, one guy left. Normally I would split up the lasers, but lately it works out really well unless you want to give off one of the lasers to them.
You guys want a laser? I
We
would
don't wanna
deny
ruin
a laser. Which
Okay.
one do you
We
want?
don't want to
Red or
ruin the
green?
data.
With that kind of eagerness, give him the red one. The green one's way brighter.
Careful.
Okay, so that leaves
you
you
handle it, Corey?
with the EMFs.
Oh,
So
I can
let me
handle
explain EMFs for a second.
Hello.
You guys all have seen these on your ghost hunting shows. They never explain how they actually work. It measures electromagnetic fields. Okay, it's going to measure 3 different types. This is our first, I guess, sign that something is happening with all of your other devices. So the first one is natural, it comes from the earth. The second one is from our electronic devices, cell phones, wires, buildings, those kind of things. That's going to put it into a pulse. We don't want the pulse either. We want this thing to light up like a Christmas tree and for it to have no rhythm to it whatsoever. When that happens, usually something else is going to be going off that I have to research either tonight or in the morning. So it doesn't make any noise, nor does it vibrate, nor do you need to push any buttons. You literally need to stare at Christmas tree lights and you're good to go.
She does love Christmas.
I do like Christmas.
Awesome, because you're going to go red and green. Okay.
Oh my
I
god.
told you guys I'm going to be using some devices myself. So I do use a couple of apps on my phone. So I'm going to explain them one by one. First off, in case I lost a name again.
Sorry. Jessica.
Jessica's EMF backs away because she has a battery drainage. I have a backup just in case. I do use 2 different spirit boxes on my phone. The first one is going to give us a word every now and again at the center of that screen and then save them to a list. Here's what I'm going to tell you about this app. 80% of it is bullshit. Doesn't mean a damn thing because it's meant to be a game or a hoax. We're going to clear out last night's list because they already have theirs. They got 61 words. That's about average. 50 to 60 words in a 90 to 100 minute period. So I will always try to relate something to what's actually happening. But in the morning, if it's not verifiable through some type of link or an actual website, I'm not going to highlight it for you. Does that make sense? Again, 15 to 20% is usually what comes at it. So we're talking like maybe 2 to 6 phrases max. It just depends. So the other one I'm going to use, and it's going to be hard to hear with this stupid traffic, is a reverse spirit box. I debunked this one already too, and I do get a lot of evidence out of it. What is it? It is literally a man and a woman saying random words and then they loop it backwards. I don't know how long the loop is. I've tested it for over an hour, so I know it's at least an hour long. I do get EVPs through it when we're away from traffic, and in the location where I heard the strongest EVP, I will play it for you. But I'm going to turn it up so you guys can at least get a gist of it. It's a little creepy because it's going to be on your audio, and this is what I use when I'm communicating. Kind of go down the line here.
I got a laser.
What does that mean?
Means
That's what I was saying. It's electric. Yeah, so I was just testing it to
like
see what-
magnetic.
Yeah. So like if it was like, then it would
Basically. So all of your devices. I'll stop talking for a second. Okay.
So the ghost would respond to that.
So in the event that I get an intelligent response, like what color is my shirt, and the word gray comes out, and it's going to come out in forward motion, all they're doing is using the energy of those syllables to convert that to the word gray. Does that make sense? I'm looking for intelligent responses, and I've gotten it with this app before. So you're going to hear it on your audio because that stays on my chest, and I usually hold it pretty close so you can hear both the communication back and forth. I will say what I thought I heard it in real time and say rewind by 5 seconds. That'll be your audio marker. Okay, does that make sense, everybody?
Sure.
So I'll also say the words that I think that are coming up on this one. So if the word kitten comes up, I'll just say the word kitten. So you'll listen to it like, why the hell did he say kitten? And then you look at your word list and like, oh, it's right there at the beginning of the tour. So does that make sense to you there?
Yeah.
So again, I'll always try to relate something, and I can use both of them at the same time. So all I literally do is turn the volume up, and I have both of them running. So it works simultaneously. So now we have 4 spirit boxes running instead of just the normal 2. So I already got the word counterpart, which is interesting. So that stays running all night. I usually keep it out, but I'm going to put my bag together here as I tell you guys the story of what you're leaning on. So the place is haunted. This place used to be called Big John's. I'll back away from it. So Big John's was named after John Kennedy, a football. Look at you guys all off the wall.
Gotta get some footage. Getting footage.
Tell me where to point.
I'm going to teach you a lot about the neighborhood. I'll see through windows, just so you know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, so Big John was a football player for the 1947 New York Giants. He used to sit in the back of the bar, nod off to the bartender and tell them about the cadets that would come over and let them know if they were of age or not to actually drink. Well, one night 2 guys were not of age, and Big John told the bartender to cut them off. They get pissed, they leave, they come back the next night and try to steal the cash register. They get in a fight with Big John, shots were fired, the bullet lands in the wall. that bullet hole is still in the building. Now they're reconstructing it now. I don't know if they've actually filled it up or not, but it's not any kind of death or ghost that actually haunts the place. It's the paranormal activity that was attached to the fight with Big John. They say that people that sit in the front of the bar start to not feel well. Dizzy, headache, queasiness, those kind of things. Bring the shit up on purpose. I don't know how any kind of paranormal activity is going to affect any of you. Any of you start to not feel well, I need to know. The slightest bit of headache, we will get you to a safer place. The first time somebody passed out on me on a nice chilly night like this, I was in CPR class the next day. Now, it's happened on more than one occasion, and I do not tell you this to scare you, because technically this is not a scary tour. It just deals with the paranormal, which people are afraid of. So, again, please speak up to somebody else in your party. Let them know that you're not feeling well, they will probably speak up for you. Fair enough? The other piece of history here is from our earthquake, 1868. A piece of the mantling above your heads actually broke off, but it was in the front of the building. Don't back away just too quick yet. Killed somebody, and this is where the first death occurred from that earthquake. So their ghost is said to be seen right here on East Bay. I just don't have the proof. I have the previous bar owner's word for it. So those are the two stories that attach to Big John's. I start here on purpose so I can kind of give you that fair warning about not feeling well. Good thing I didn't lose that case.
I was gonna point it out.
Thank you.
I was also going to.
You guys can interrupt me. It's perfectly fine. I talk too much. So, you guys ready to go something?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Let me tell you about your first location we're going to go to. It is your practice area. I am going to bounce around with all of you individually so you can ask me questions, and I'll give you a little bit better tactics for you guys being amateurs. No offense, but y'all. So, it has a little bit of a history, but not a big, long story. So I'll give you the gist and the skinny of what's happening, and then we'll kind of set you guys free as I bounce around with all of you. Is that fair?
Cool.
I'm not going to give you guys tools and say, go have fun. That's not how this works. All right, let's go this way. So,
I need to be in the lead so I can tell you.
Yeah, and we have to have the camera in the front, so. Yep. No, please, please. Down the street.
all right. So let's give you guys the skinny of what's happening here. So first off, there's a alleged haunting over at that Crew Cafe. I did walk through it with an EMF. You're already feeling blinging, that's good. So, they asked me to do a full investigation. It was supposed to happen this summer, but thank you, COVID, for screwing up everybody's life. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not because I don't have enough data on the place because it used to be a slave home. Slave homes didn't have addresses, so it's really hard for me to get a hold of these. So, I don't know if I'm going to do it at all. So, let me give you the skinny of what's going on here. We're at the Red Barn lot. This is the same barn where they keep the horses for carriage rides. So all of you, there's 3 of you with lasers. None of those lasers can go through the windows of that building. You will spook the ponies. They will kick and scare the shit out of all of us. We don't want that. We don't want to disturb the animals. So this is also the same Red Barn that they held the horses that delivered milk to Charleston. So if that dates it for you a little bit, 1860s to 1920s, that's all the history I have. So let's talk about what we're going to do with our devices here. We're going to collaborate in about 10 minutes after I bounce around with everybody and kind of tell us what you actually seen or heard. So on your particular device, you're going to be giving us nice slow sweeps all the way across. You have a ton of different types of materials, metal, asphalt, brick, foliage, all kinds of mess.
Okay.
Learn how that actually fluctuates. Go nice and slow.
Okay.
You're going to help him gauge those temperatures with the gun. Just keep him out of the windows. It's going to be off by about 4 to 5 degrees. So in the event he sees something start to drop, that's where you really need to kind of help him out. Lasers, straight down just like I told you. Make sure we're taking lots and lots of pictures of that. So between
Just at the lasers?
in this particular area, there's really nothing, like the pictures get really, really dark. And I haven't caught anything, and I'm just going based off of what I caught in the past. This is where I did catch something in the green laser last night. It's the first time I caught it with a picture. I gave it to a teenage girl, showed her how to use a regular camera. She took almost 400 pictures. Ooh. So that was a lot to go through. But I did, there was no debunking. Like it was a literal something passed through it, and it's very easy to see. Whenever we actually have pictures that show evidence, it goes into the evidence folder on my Facebook page. Your pictures are going to have your own folder with the date, time, and the person that booked your tour listed as the name. and it's your own. You can do whatever you want to with them. What do you guys have? Okay, so spirit boxes. Let's talk about the spirit boxes because you guys have one as well. Your ghost hunting shows are going to dive right in and say, "Why did you kill?" And they're, those kind of things. They're trying to rouse things up. I'm bringing you to friendly places. Let's teach you guys how to use this the proper way. You're going to ask a question. We're going to start you off simple with something you may already know. Okay, so you know that there's horses inside. You know the color of the barn is red. So you're going to start off with, what color is the barn? Listen for about 30 seconds. If you don't get an answer, ask it again. Maybe rephrase it. Can you tell me what color the barn is? This is just an example. You guys can come up with whatever you want to. You're going to do that 3 or 4 times, and if you still don't get an answer, if we get a high EMF or something happening with the EMF, somebody's actually here. Also keep in mind that you guys might ask a question, but it can go to his audio, my audio, or one of the other 3 spirit boxes. Okay? It goes the same way. It happens all the time. So, ask another question you might know. What kind of animal is inside the barn? Now you know you're listening for the word horse. Okay? And again, it's going to be a radio DJ or a song lyric or something along those lines. You're smiling from ear to ear. What do you got?
No, I'm just laughing at it.
Okay, yeah. He's going to have fun with this. So spirit boxes are not the provocal, like we're not going to provoke. Like that's not what we do. The EMF, we really need to pay attention to where you are based on where the activity
I won't
is.
get lost.
Well, we're going to stay within the lot anyway. But the spirit boxes should probably be following her because when she starts getting those kind of high spikes, we want to get at least one laser involved and at least one spirit boxes. Now, spirit boxes, the teams stay away from each other. That way you're not listening to somebody else's spirit box. You have a laser as well, correct? Okay. So, I'm trying to keep track of the lasers. Nick does not want to go to jail.
I will be responsible.
So, I'm going to walk, like, as you guys kind of separate, like, here's, it's either super loud or super low. So, Mike just happens to be super low. I got to get this. So, my apologies. But luckily, we're in a nice quiet area now, and I don't feel like a drill sergeant. I can save my voice. So, I'm going to start with the thermal team, the temperature team. So, the rest of you kind of disperse, find a hot spot with that, and kind of follow her. But I am going to work with you guys first initially because there's a lot more that goes into that.
All right.
And this way they have the audio a bit later. I don't like to waste time at the beginning.
Cool.
So I usually try to keep at least one person in screen at all times. Why is that? Because that way...
It's your reference.
Your reference,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's going to start to change colors backwards in like probably 2 to 3 degree increments. So it's going to be white hot, then yellow, then orange, then red, and then your blues.
Okay.
So really what you're looking for here could be those blues moving on their own.
Go back that way.
Keeping people in reference.
There's a blue spot on.
That's
gonna
a
be-
window.
That's going to be that metal plaque, right. So you could also see thermodynamics in reverse. So I told you to watch for growing cold spots and see if they move, but I also want you to look for growing heat spots. The law of thermodynamics states, if something grows colder, that means temperature had to be
Increase
somewhere else. You can't create or generate temperature. So it has to balance. So if you see something grow very quickly in heat by 10, 15 degrees, don't try to find that cold spot. I want you to stay focused on it because that's still enough proof that something else has happened.
Okay.
But literally with that thing, the camera itself is not up to our cell phone standards, so it will pixelate if you move too quickly.
Okay.
It will stop every minute and a half to 2 minutes to start to calibrate itself.
Okay.
And that's perfectly fine. It should do that. You want it to calibrate to make sure it's accurate.
Okay.
But if you guys want to kind of test at different temperatures, like use something simple like this wall, go ahead and shoot the wall with your gun. Just so you guys can get a base temperature read so you can see the differences.
73.
73.
To
A 79.
Okay, so again, about
Good.
5 to 6 degree difference.
Yeah.
So if yours starts to drop and hers doesn't, you obviously know if you go past her temperature, you guys
Got
have something going on.
something going on.
Is this thing off?
It will turn off periodically. So there's a little power button right there. You just turn it right back on. And again, the top is the humidity. The bottom number is the temperature.
Okay, so I
So-
should that's if we see.
Right.
A
So again,
difference,
that's
yeah.
not my most active item on the tour. That's why it usually accompanies and I put you guys together as a team.
Cool.
So I'll let you
Okay.
guys play around and
Cool.
learn about that.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Got a door here. It's about 71 degrees.
I'll check it out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
67.
You gotta get closer to those things. Actually, don't read very well like far away.
67 still.
Really?
It's still about 5.
No, I was
degrees.
just saying, like, what's the difference if you get up close to it? Just wondering.
Still 67.
It's a science thing, babe. Just wondering. Okay with you.
This is not what I was
I
expecting.
thought it would be like us.
I mean, like the one we did in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, me too.
You know?
I've actually been on a walking tour. Those more historic stores here. That's what I was talking about. Yeah, we could.
You know, like I do believe in ghosts, but I don't know. I don't believe in these devices necessarily.
You got me growing spots.
Let's go check it out.
Let's check it out. You never know.
You never know. Could be anything.
Could be anything. Could be a sewer line with water. Could be. Could be a ghost. Got a wall here. It's got lights in it. Probably doesn't like the lights. Might can see a horse.
A horse?
It's not good.
63 degrees.
65.
We got a cold spot.
It's metal. Right. What's your thing do again?
Radio stations.
Crazy.
Any phrases that you guys have heard yet?
I asked what color the barn was. It said solid.
Oh, okay.
And it said red too. It So we got said the something difference. that made it sound
That's
like
pretty
it could have been
hardcore.
red, but I don't think it said red.
Well, it's all daytime. Right?
It's getting cold.
It's getting
It
cold.
is getting
I'm
cold.
looking at my car, really hoping that I put the right license plate in the parking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, ladies. So, return anything yet?
Walking away. Walking away. All right. Hello. Everybody said spirit boxes stay away from each other. Jesus.
Well, we don't know this other.
Oh,
We were just talking about
Oh,
they
there's
said
two-
they heard the word solid.
Is it really?
so that's pretty solid. Pretty solid data.
What color is the barn? Just keep saying it.
Hello. Is there
What
anyone
animals
here?
are in the barn?
Do you see anything, Sam?
A lot of temperature.
You're in this group over here. Everybody has COVID.
Everybody
seems to be alive.
There's a little baby
like
thing
really
right
now.
there.
So Josh, your theory
It's like
is off.
it's like warm,
It is,
warm.
it is.
It's like cold,
think
cold,
we felt
warm.
something, guys.
There we
I
go.
felt like I was going to throw out morning sickness.
Let's all just be very quiet.
I know how big your penis is now. Is that where it is right there? Is it on this side? It was like hanging down to the left. To the right. Like, holy shit, man. Just, what's...
Just up, just up.
I'm shocked it's a ghost hunting. I didn't realize it was a ghost
It's an
hunting.
interactive experience.
Oh, yeah, it is.
You know.
It's good Jennifer, yeah.
Got someone else.
There you go. Uh-oh. Yep. She has a penis too.
catching any
Well, he said I gotta keep it in. I gotta keep it in reference. So.
Oh, like you are supposed to put people?
Yeah, you gotta like at least have like a person in there so you can kind of see if there's anything. Yeah.
Someone here praying.
There were some spooky things that happened.
You can't do yes or no.
He said don't.
Looking.
Taking it from home. Why can't you do yes or no first?
I said that
What do you like?
Got it. Nice and slow.
Nice. Sweet. Nicole. Got a cold spot. Oh, that's my finger covering it. Hold on. Right there on the ground. Yep, right there. What do you get?
68.
That's right.
We don't want to go. We want it solid. No, I want
Need to
something to
hold.
make it go nuts.
Alright, rotate,
Yeah, the spirit's
rotate.
gonna muster up enough energy, but it's not gonna be able to keep it consistent. That's what makes it go all over the place.
I think there's a wedding going on right there.
That means that it's something.
A wedding.
With every light,
Oh,
with
Ready to
every
go in
gap,
some
there's a
actual history
rebirth.
instead of standing around in the lot. Let's go look at another one.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I did, I saw his
Very cold. Did you get someone else's?
It was really big and warm. Are you turned on?
Did you get my last text?
No. Oh, about that. Yeah.
So what would a horse get? Nay. I mean, I don't care. I'm just thinking about shit. I can take really old horse.
Hello? Is there anyone with us tonight? Hello? Alright, got a vehicle. The vehicle is
Is
cold.
Durango haunted?
Is it a haunted Durango?
White.
Oh, it's right.
Alright, so I know another parking lot, another not so pretty place. Sorry, it won't be lots all night. So this place is actually really important to Charleston. Staying in your car since you know it's your car. So don't vandalize your video. This is actually the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion site. So their mansion would have been in the front. Eliza's garden would have been lined up with that first tree, and back here would have been the slate fields. So let me give you the gist of what's actually happening here. This is one of my most active spots. This is the one that let me down last night. So we're gonna get some EMF is good, and I already got a preemptive word that I'll tell you what he actually means. So Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. The son and the nephew, signers of our Constitution. I hate politics. It's 2020. Close to election. We're gonna move on. I don't want to bring up more politics. So Eliza married Charles so she could stay here in the United States. Dad thought he was dying over in England, and he wanted all his kids home. She didn't want to go. So she got married and became a citizen and stayed here. Charles minus the lines, and that's the only way in and out. So just kind of keep that in mind too. So anyway, Dad got better. He started sending her gifts over from England. One of those gifts happened to be the plant indigo. Eliza was a botanist, and indigo is he creates blue dye so we can have blue jeans. We still use it today. Pretty big deal. Now, indigo has a pretty deep history with Charleston and the Gullah culture, but Eliza was the one that made it profitable. Dad's contact to make it a huge cash crop in Charleston over the sheep. So it kind of saved Charleston on the right hand. So, last week I caught two shadow people up in that corner. And I'm actually, I don't want to waste the time with you guys. Maybe I'll give you a link later in that. It is pretty prominent. But it is literally, I made sure I had the reference of see how the heads of those people are walking. I have two people alive going that way. 20 seconds later, two dead people coming down. How do I know they were dead? They were black in color. And there were people in view. That's why I told Sam to always keep the person in view so we have a point of reference of temperature. So there's no way that those people were 20 degrees cold. There's no way. If they were alive. So I also got a strong EVP here once. I think I told you guys. I will play that for you only because it is very quick. It makes sense because Eliza is from England. Doesn't make sense at first when you first hear it, like what the hell, but let me kind of give you the gist of what it was. So I'll play it for all of you guys. That's the reverse spirit box. So here's what happened, now that you guys all have a gist of it. The red spirit box, yours, told me I'll fix you, and then I got baked beans breakfast, and then the digital spirit box with the word list gave me the word tea. They were all within 2 minutes of each other. I'll fix you, baked beans breakfast, and tea. That would have been a breakfast in the 1700s over in the UK. see how I have to collaborate and look at all the different data in the morning? Those are the kinds of things I love to find. And that was in real time. Like the rest of that audio is, hey guys, you have to hear this. Somebody told me what the hell it means. Because I had no idea baked beans for breakfast was a thing in the UK.
That's still a thing.
Is it?
Yeah, beans and toast.
Huh.
So weird. But at any rate, so a couple weird things about Eliza. She was the second wife named Eliza from Charles. She goes by her maiden name, which has already come up on my spirit box. I normally tell you guys to go find out what it is, but she already told us ahead of time. It is the name Lucas. It showed up right here. You know, see, Lucas is coming up, and it's coincidence of how close I was. It's about the 5th or 6th word down. It just came up. Yeah, like maybe 8 minutes ago. 5th or 6th word down. So I normally have you guys on the spirit box go find out what her maiden name was. But at this point, I'm going to ask you what the first Eliza's maiden name was, because she goes by that as well. It's Eliza Blank Hinckley. The Eliza that we're about the indigo had 4 kids. Don't ask about all of the sons. I want you to ask about the daughter. Last night, the son came up and she was fine, and all activity stopped for the rest of the night. So it's a sad moment for Eliza. It's not something she wants to talk about. Ask her what her daughter's name was. There was only one. You can ask what happened to the mansion. You can ask anything about her death. She's more than happy to tell you how old she was, where she died, what she died from. Like all of these questions, I thought the answers to multiple times. So as you guys are provoking and talking to Eliza, I'm actually going to be trying to get in touch with Charles. I'm going to be doing my own thing. Lasers stay below the wall. Lasers also can make car alarms go off, so be mindful of that. Nice full view on the thermal imaging cam.
Yeah.
Of course, we definitely want some temperatures coming out of you. Pictures, be wary of the vehicles. People start screaming about us taking pictures of their cars. They think we're here as car thieves. Yeah, we're all here as car thieves, right? All masked and everything else. Spirit boxes stay away from each other, of course, obviously, so you guys are listening. I mean, you can hear theirs anyway, but I don't want them getting near overlay. Now, the light on the back of the Five Church restaurant is not blinking tonight. Like it blink, it's usually around here how they normally kind of shows that the energy that's in here, these are intelligence here, they're not conditioned. So it's emulating over to that light and kind of influencing it the same way, and you can usually test it with the EMF meter standing anywhere in this spot. It'll usually go in pulse with it. If you video it, it's about 2 frames delay, which means it's emulating out, causing that light to blink over there. Sometimes it's a disco light, sometimes it's a real weak blink. It just depends. But we're already getting EMF, but it has gone away already, as you can see. So walk around, follow, find out what's going on with those questions. And I'm going to do my own thing. I need to see the spirit box.
Keep me in view.
Can go to the right.
Sorry? No, I don't have any relevance to the rest of the chapter. It's died there. Alright, keep listening. See what else you get. It's a 1-syllable word.
thermal. You want to take thermal readings? Not yet.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, it could be that car. 69 degrees. Celsius. $69 degrees.
See, if you point it right there, you see his penis.
I swear. I changed sides. Those directions.
Hello.
What did it say?
Let me see.
Pointing at my penis. It'd be all the way up here. Don't do it. 'Cause it's gonna go.
Don't do it, you can see it all.
Does this thing have audio too?
I don't know. I don't think so. I guess it's a thermal. Camera, but it might.
Ice cream.
You're looking a little cold, Jessica.
I'm look cold.
You look cold.
Oh my god.
The thing is spiking a lot.
Yeah, there's a backlight on that.
We all have magnetic fields. At least on us, with all the technology. Where's your phone? There's no way.
What year was your house built?
I want.
So I can see the green one dimming a little bit. After about 5 minutes, you're like heating up the battery. So you give it like a minute or two to cool off. It's nice and chilly tonight, so it's gonna take I seen it dim. I was like, okay, he might have had it on a while.
I have my finger covering something. There's a black spot right there.
So that's a vehicle. Windows are colder because they shoot reflect everything.
No. Is it?
It's like a hole. Timber. Cold.
I don't really care which one it is.
Eliza, what's your maiden name?
Scrotum? What's a scrotum?
I heard something out of the movie. Eliza, thank you for showing me.
It sounded like screw. Scrotum.
Eliza, will you repeat your name?
Oh, I'm fighting. Yeah, please.
Eliza, what's your corner? What's your
Turn it. Keep turning. Rotate. Slower. Slower than that. Slowly. Slowly. anybody in?
Oh, there's a blue spot.
On her book bag.
What is the main name? We heard something Totem.
Class Factotor or whatever. It's 56 degrees out.
Now I wish I had worn my other outfit.
Crocs. Oh, you want to switch?
On what?
Yeah.
Did you guys get it?
We heard something, but it was not correct.
What was it? What'd you hear?
Started with an S. Josh Thomas said scrotum.
I heard the name Scrotum on the thing, but
Well, I mean, that could be a thing.
I mean, she hasn't had to be in a while.
Maybe they saw what you were doing with the camera.
You know what I'm saying? Huh?
This happens all the time, people. We should text him.
I heard Fred.
Oh, it's dizzy.
Can you tell us about your daughter?
Someone's gonna ask a question.
I just asked a question.
Eliza, what's your maiden name?
Eliza, where did you die? And then you moved. What happened to your beautiful home?
All right, everybody. Smile for the Fleer. Keeping things in.
Because if it's just like solid red, then it's like man-made.
Rube it up.
You guys, what I thought.
Come on, guys.
Did you guys see anything weird on the thermal?
No, everything seemed pretty explainable.
So also, guys, keep that in mind that I watched that on my TV in the morning, so I could see it in a bigger picture. Just want to make sure we're not in their way. I actually asked what happened to the house. I got it blew up. That's a common thing that I'll hear here. I also got the word haunted, which is weird because that's not something she would normally say to me. What else was the other one? Oh, I asked what color the lights were on the ground at the time you guys had the red grid, and I got the word red twice.
We heard the word red, didn't we?
Yeah.
So again, when I ask questions, I don't ask what I told you guys to ask because again, the answer can go anywhere and that validates what's going on. So why don't you guys tell us about the names you guys heard? It don't make any sense to me yet.
We heard either Rosaline or Madeline at the time. I definitely heard Madeline once, but like the rest were Rosaline or like Rosalie. Going back and forth with me.
So last night, I'll tell you, we were all confused because we were pretty far into the tour and the words Rose Line came up. So I'm like, they're all Googling what Rose Line is, this, that, and the other. And then when I looked at it this morning, I'm like, I bet you that's the name Rosaline. So I couldn't find any reference to it, but I am going to definitely dive into what their servants do because I don't have that list. And I've never been able to find it, so maybe I'll dive in deeper and maybe find those two names for us. So, anything else come up weird? Anything out of the grids that we saw? And the EMF we obviously saw was pretty much, well, that's pretty steady. I would call that a rhythm. It's some red from time to time.
What's that?
No,
Oh.
it just means a stronger EMF. That's all.
Oh.
So you kind of have to think of that as an invisible force field. So again, if that building was making it go off as you got closer, it should be solid red when you get there, and then slowly start to back off in color the further away you get. That's how you have to think about it. All right, so we're gonna walk up East Bay Street about 4 blocks and go up to Lodge Alley. It's definitely a masked up area. These restaurants are gonna be dining outside. I don't know who's dining outside in this chilly weather, but whatever. It's Charleston. These people are from up north, the Ohioans. They're probably dining outside because it's nice outside. Everybody okay with the shoes they have on because that is a cobblestone clay brick area. So just to make sure nobody's going to be breaking an ankle while we walk in. East Bay is definitely a no laser zone, so we're going to keep that in mind. Please keep filming. What else do we have? Spirit boxes. So if you guys want to listen to them along the way, we're listening for names there too. I'll explain when we get there, but I don't like to give you the preemptive thought of what color is the barn. names kind of thing. So I want you guys to tell me what names you hear along the way. Trying to think, what else do we have? Lasers, no. I think we're here on everything else. Questions so far? Oh, you guys want the answers to the questions I gave you? So Eliza died at the age of 70. Maybe this will spark, like, I think I heard 70. Of breast cancer in Philadelphia. She's not even buried here. That's where she's buried, in Philadelphia. She was up their own business, and she was 22 when she
First Elijah.
Second Eliza. She was 22 when she got married to Charles. He was 45. Yeah, right? Again, she just wanted to become a citizen, so she didn't have to go home. Oh, I also heard the word blue, by the way, which when I was asking about the color on the ground, you guys still had the green one, and I was like, nope, blue's indigo. Try again, Eliza. And then that's when I got red. So, just kind of give you that. Let's see. Eliza Lamb Pinckney was the first wife. Eliza Lucas Pinckney, you all know, that was second wife. And the house caught on fire in that corner, second floor. So if you heard words like upstairs or second or up, anything like that, and that was in the Great Fire of 1861. So I do get the number 61 here as well. The number 22 often shows up. The word October, if it does show up, comes up twice. Charles was born and died in the month of October. He died 3 days after his, I don't remember how old he was, birthday. But October 26th is when he was born. He died on October 29th. So, I know, very interesting facts. And it usually triggers something that somebody actually may have heard. Like, oh, I thought I heard the number 6 come up. Maybe you heard 26. So, all right. Any other questions about here? I know, I try to be thorough. Am I thorough enough for you guys?
Yeah, no, that's
all right. So, let's take a hike.
Okay. Film. Watch your step.
Yes, 1 step up, 3 down. Thank you. I normally give a warning.
Oh, no, that's all right.
Sorry, gotta text the wife. I don't know I'm doing okay.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, got everybody?
Sudden fact is the fact that the yellow plate
Oh, somebody that keeps pace with me.
Yeah. Glad it got a little colder.
I normally don't take, the wife takes the dogs out in the morning before she goes to work, and I don't have to take them out again until after I'm done with my dad in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh shit, it's cold out
Yeah.
today.
It's cold, yeah.
Gets the ball in a big radius. But what I love about him is he blocks. And when he blocks, good things happen for quarterbacks in any
So is this what you thought you were getting yourself into?
No, I mean, it's cool though. I'm from Beaufort area.
Oh, I've done some investigations.
Yeah, say it's pretty haunted there.
Yeah, and got Old Sheldon Church.
Yeah.
There's a mansion down there that's actually occupied right now.
Uh-huh.
Got a pretty big story behind it.
Yeah, there's some really. I've been on I went on the tours when I was a kid there, and then I did some historical tours here. It's pretty fun.
And Fort Fremont. That's,
Yeah, that one's big. Yeah. The Land's End Ghost.
Yep. Well,
Or whatever.
Actually, I didn't go there.
The
for
light.
that one. What I stumbled across was Harriet Tubman, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, you should read the blog post on that.
Down
It's a very
there.
interesting case.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't know. How did she do stuff in the area?
Well, from there, I was just starting off with this guy, this particular app, and the words like raid, creek, and rock came up. Apparently, she led a raid from that area over Rock City, across the creek, something like, it's all in the blog, and I couldn't believe it. And I actually found the actual words of Harriet Tubman, like from her book. Like, yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah. I'm like, holy shit, like that was a great connection.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I didn't even have the upgraded version of this yet.
Yeah.
So that kind of shows you.
There's a fort there, and there was like a story about a dwarf in the basement.
Really?
All kind of cool little stories. There's a hanging tree one.
Yeah, I know about the hanging tree.
Yeah, that one's a big one. But totally, go for it.
Where's my photographer? He's got the camera now. So we're going to walk down here. I want to make sure there's nobody down there, but I want to grab some pictures of it.
Camera?
What's that figured out?
Nothing that's unexplainable. Look at this little chili. Gotta keep it. Yeah. You get anything? You wanna try it? Yeah, give it a try.
I don't know.
Watch out, the camera's actually down here.
Oh, ooh, thanks. I thought I just missed something big. Is it supposed to be blurry like that? Yeah.
At least we're getting a good walk in. All that.
I get excited with the EMF down here because we hardly ever get anything. It's not Pinky Mansion site for sure. Alright guys, welcome to Lodge Alley. Did we hear any names on the spirit boxes? I wasn't hearing anything. Okay. Were you guys hearing anything on yours? Okay. So the reason why I asked for names is because this used to be a street where people lived. I have the list of residents of every person that's ever lived here. The two names I commonly get, and they're usually together, is Benjamin and John. They both lived here in 1801. There was only 4 residents in that time period, in that year. So the fact that I have half of their roster that shows up constantly, that's a good sign. But again, these 2 buildings we're leaning on, they weren't here. This was shotgun houses, so you shoot a gun through the front, it'll go off the back. Also keep in mind, the peninsula of Charleston was much, much skinnier. Those buildings down there would have not have been there, and we would have had the smell of low tide coming through here, which wouldn't have been very pleasant to stay here. We consider these people low class because they did do an archaeological dig in between these clay bricks. We're going to let this group pass by. Let's have another story. Maybe. Might just be a family walking through. I don't know. Large family. Large family. Indeed. Oh, you guys came with a large group.
We're not a family though.
You're not a family.
You're probably close enough to be family.
Oh, we're like a friend family.
I know. I thought we were closer.
I was talking like Mormon van 15 passenger family.
That's what I was thinking.
Breathe again. As much as I love my Jets and masks, my mother-in-law makes all my masks for me. I started a little mask website for her because she's been selling them like crazy, and I just send her material and she sends them right back in the form of a mask. So I have Casper and all kinds of cool stuff. But anyway, where were we? The archaeological dig. They found some of their silverware, some of their tools, little pieces of their clothing. They were able to determine that these people were lower class. The hotel behind me, every hotel downtown has their own claims of ghosts. None of them give me free rooms to verify, so I'm not going to condone any of their ghost stories. I have caught a green orb in here quite often in different locations through pictures. That's why I usually enforce the pictures down here. So when we leave, you're going to be the last one out. You're going to get 2 pictures going this way. Take plenty of pictures while we're in here. This is also, guys, just so you know, this is where the Masons used to meet. So before it was people living here, this was an open area where the Masons would come down and talk business, even on the hot nights that we had here in Charleston. So it's an interesting place. So we're definitely going to listen to our spirit boxes as we walk out to the edge. But once we get out there, it's definitely a no laser zone. It's residency. People live there. They're winding down from their day. As far as spirit boxes, you guys are doing a great job keeping them at audible levels. EMF, I'll be super surprised if you get any kind of other blips than what you have now. See how steady it is, guys? That's what we don't want. That's proof that it's coming from this room. Whoever's in here, so I got a bunch of stuff plugged in right by this window. So, I'd be curious on temperatures with you guys.
She's got it now.
Okay, you guys are flipping around on me. That's okay. So when you're taking the video on the way out of here, you're literally panning side to side. Sorry, I'm getting words and I'm not paying attention. It's an interesting thing. There's a news story I found that happened between residences down here where two people were arguing, got into a fist fight. They were two ladies, and the cops got involved and they put it in the paper. So that was the big news story of that day. That would have been in like the mid-1800s. So just to kind of give you a gist, but I did get the word cop, and I was just like, oh, maybe I should tell that story. So anyway, let's walk through here and let's see what we capture. Please be careful, it gets a little darker. I will shine a flashlight so everybody can see. I think you're the only one with heels that I'm worried about, so just kind of watch your ankles. Don't break them. Hey, you're pretty flat. All right. Yeah, they get worse as you come through. None of them are the same size shape. I'm sorry, is my vaping bothering anybody?
No, not at all.
Sorry, I'm the lone wolf in town. I don't follow corporate policy stuff. Like, I'd rather just chit chat with you guys about ghosts all night.
It's the best experience.
So have you always seen the ghosts, or is it
This started when I was probably about 7 or 8 years old.
7 or 8?
Was there an
Like
event?
experience?
Yes. I had lots of experiences. And the religion I was raised in, nobody believed me.
Oh, wow.
So, once I was ready to explore, I started. So, but I've actually been diving into more historical places, and I started researching just with a psychic, no tools or gadgets, when I lived in Myrtle Beach. So it started about 8-9 years ago. And then I started gathering up the tools and getting my daughter, like half the tools you guys were using were my daughter's birthday gift one year. So when I walked away from my retail career, I said, I need your shit back. Dad's got a new idea. So it's kind of how all this got going.
So she's into...
Oh yeah, like when she's down here from, she comes to visit down from her mom's, like she's usually on the tour. And she helps me out with, because she knows these devices just as well as I do. And a lot of times if I need a second opinion on something, I'll pull her in. She's 14. I have another daughter that's 20. She's living her own life. But she used to be into this and started with my investigations years ago. So let's go this way. Don't become a good car.
that car.
Doesn't it remind me of like Steve
What? No, I don't.
It's like
That's what you play.
Yeah.
No, on the record.
This makes me a little dizzy looking at this.
I know. Yeah, I couldn't do it for... I was like, I'm going to go slow. Well, no, I was just like...
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
Want the label?
Definitely.
You want the temperature?
Also,
I'll do
look
the
how
temperature.
red that
I'll do the
building
temperature.
is.
Well, so this goes along with Logan.
I have the
doing
same
that.
one.
So
I got it on the Amazon.
if she sees a blue spot on here, then you aim that at the blue spot.
But I have to keep a person in it at all times for a reference?
Just for reference, yeah.
Let's see what's on this wall behind you. What if there was like a really creepy shape?
Do you see that face?
I would stop here before we go into the alley because this is a really popular ghost spot. When we walk through there, it's Saturday night, it's probably going to be a minimum of 2 tours, and they're very loud. Some of them use megaphones and they're not allowed. Some of them go over some of the people in the group and they're not allowed. But I'm not here to cause waves, am I? No, I'm not. I'm here to give you guys a good time. So I'm going to give you the story because we have tools and devices that actually prove the story that goes on inside here. Philadelphia ALLIE used to be called Jeweler's ALLIE. So take 20 paces, turn and shoot kind of duels. There was a doctor that moved down here from Rhode Island. Keep that in mind because RI usually pops up for spirit boxes and has it out of reference as well. So he was supposed to get married to his fiancee Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. So now let's cut that. Do you know how to turn it off?
No, I don't.
On the back of the speaker, there's a button.
My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. Theirs is recording, so it's kind of our backup.
Yeah.
So Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. The attorney handling that money said, "You're not getting married yet. Send that doctor away. I think he's just after your money." So he comes to Charleston. The coachman that brings him into town sets him up to be robbed and killed. Not a very good start. Somebody walking by, Ralph Isaacs, initials RI, Rhode Island, Ralph Isaacs. He says, "You don't want to stay here. Let me take you somewhere else." He takes him to 59 Church Street. He rents a room upstairs. Everything's good to go. The two become friends. The doctor's practice takes off. He becomes known as the Whistling Doctor. He's making lots of money. Amanda's going to be coming down soon. You can Google the Whistling Doctor and get all the very hairy details of this whole story. I'm giving you the skinny for just your devices. So, him and Ralph used to go see plays together. Now, the doctor was on a different part of society because he made a lot of money. So imagine going to see a movie with your friends and you can't sit next to each other because they make more money than you and they're jerks. So that's exactly what used to happen. She's like, "Yeah, it happens all the time." But that's what used to happen with them. So they go see Richard III from Shakespeare. They're walking home talking about the play because they didn't sit next to each other. The doctor loves the new actress that was in town. Ralph does not. They argue about it. Then it turns into an insult party on the doctor's fiance back home. And to obviously get into a deeper argument, they go their separate ways. Ralph was from Charleston, which means he had ties to the newspaper. He put a big ad in the paper on what a disgrace the doctor was to the city of Charleston. What a jerk. He takes all the money. He's not from here. He's too expensive. The doctor rebuttals with, "Let's go to Dueller's Alley." Now, out of a duel, what normally happens? Someone dies, right? Someone's not making it out. So on the other side, like not this wall we're looking at, but the other side of the alley, there's actually a doorway just off to the right. It goes over to the courtyard and then over to the cemetery. Normally the loser would be picked up, go through the doorway, to the courtyard, dropped in a pre-dug grave, and then it goes celebrate the win. Now the shit went down. Nobody ever talks about that gate, that doorway. The gate wasn't there, but the doorway was. It's the original wall. So here's what happened with the doctor's duel. They come down here, they take the 20 paces, they turn, the doctor points his gun in the air, and he shoots. He didn't want to kill his friend. However, Ralph took 2 shots below the knees on the doctor. The doctor drops. His friends pick him up and they carry him home instead of going through the death gate. He dies 10 days later. What's the moral? Don't get engaged to somebody named Amanda. Kidding. Making sure you're all paying attention.
Yeah.
So, you guys are. Good job. They say as you walk through the alley, you can actually hear the whistles of the doctor. I have 2 that I cannot debunk. We have a lot of hecklers in town. If you're in downtown a lot, you get it a lot. There's a fake one for your audio. This is where you're going to turn it up. You're going to be listening to those very faint whistles in the background, and it probably won't be what I just did. It'll probably be a little melody, so forth and so on. Now, normally this area back here is pretty quiet day or night. They say you can also hear the gunshots. I've never caught gunshots. My 4th of July teams always want me to listen for it. I'm like, no, I'm not going to try to debunk that one for you. Sorry. Not happening. It's an interesting place. It's also, in my opinion, the most beautiful place we have here in Charleston. So, where's my picture taken now? So, obviously St. Philip's is right there. If you go in between like the parking spaces off to the right, you get a great shot between the trees for everybody to have a nice touristy shot. If you guys want to check out the death gate, you can go off to the right. I'm actually going to go left and try to keep us as a group to cut through these other, so that way we're not interrupting them. Like, I don't like to be interrupted. I only hear one loudmouth right now, so hopefully that's the only one. The bricks we're about to walk on get older. So here's another little piece of nugget of history. At the end, we actually have sun-dried bricks from slave days. We have their fingerprints in the bricks, and we have one full handprint. And if you notice on the handprint, the thumb actually overlays into the next brick. If you think about it, that kid had to put that brick in wet. It wasn't fully dry, and then slam his hand into it and say, "Screw you, I don't want to do this anymore." It's a very small handprint. It is outside somebody's home. So at that point, our spirit box needs to be at an honorable level. I'm not so much worried about yours because it's pretty low as it is. No lasers at the end because somebody lives there. Their address is Philadelphia Alley. If we're cutting through tours, again, mask up, spirit box is down. We don't want to interrupt them too harshly. They're already pissed off and jealous of me as it is. So, any questions about Philadelphia Alley? I love this place. I don't know where that goes by. It looks like he's right to the right. So you can kind of check out the doorway from where this parking lot that we're standing in.
You want a laser?
No, I got one.
You have a laser?
I got two. I don't know. Is that
I'll play with that one. You've had it, right? You take which one? Take your time.
Also raises questions of why we don't have a cemetery. If you're dead, if you don't know who you're buried, why not do
Was there a duel
he
here?
does not want to go back to where he was. That's why we moved quickly at the end of this. You guys want a picture, have your family ready.
Where did you get
Did they go
shot?
this way? That way. That's the creepiest thing you guys are gonna hear. So I'm going to stay away from the spirit boxes. I'm not going to turn on my reverse spirit box. You guys have to listen to the audio. Once we get to the other tours, I will aggressively try to keep up with you on that one so we're not interrupting. Fair enough. But it is gorgeous downstairs. Oh, look at that. It says gather.
Where's that door?
You guys are supposed to tell me to put my mask on. Watch behind you.
A lot of red faces. Got anything? I'm gonna stick my head in there.
As long as my lower body is covered, I'm fine.
How hard are we?
67. Congratulations. Yeah.
Shoulder blades are pretty warm.
Oh yeah.
Use a little more heat in the legs.
Well, it says my jeans should be a little tighter.
Yeah.
Shut up! What is wrong with Gita? Like, y'all come over here.
I like
I
that.
hope you're a believer by the end of
I like that red flag. It is cool.
Is that it?
Here, you see that thing?
It doesn't look like a handprint.
Where's the handprint? Fourth print? Potentially?
that one.
That one?
You getting anything there, Tex? I'm getting
I can see that one.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is it? Was that the handprint? Yeah.
Little boy.
There it is. Little slave boy. What? I don't think it's noise.
I was wondering that if it's
Could be noise. I don't know.
picks up audio.
But didn't he say it was like a slave boy? Okay, I'm sorry there were slaves in France. Don't say that there were slaves.
I don't want the facts.
He was a slave. He was a boy. He was a slave.
I feel like a blogger right now. It's just a book.
Out that dude's house. So, last building, guys, is actually the one behind you. So that's the Bodner building. The Bodner building used to be part of our cotton industry. It used to be a warehouse in the back and the offices in the front. The last person who had it as a cotton warehouse was named George Poirier. George inherited the business from his dad. Still a screwy kid, clueless, bounced up into a bunch of debt, moved with his inheritance. He's screwed. Doesn't know what he's doing. We also had the boll weevil in town. It's a bug that eats cotton. So, can't sell it back to the Americans because they'll get the boll weevil. He's really screwed. That's where his debts are. So he sells it to the British. Again, Charleston was much skinnier. The Vendu and Pineapple Park were not there. He watches the British ship roll in. He's watching from the second story floor. I don't care what online story you read. All of my data says the second story. They unload with horse and buggy from these really cool garage doors that you guys see back here, and he watches the whole thing. Once the ship is fully loaded, somebody gets too close to that cotton with a pipe, which means it catches fire, and George watches everybody die. He's already depressed because his dad's gone, he doesn't have enough British money to pay off his American debts, and now his father's legacy is gone. So he piles up all the furniture, captain's chair on top, climbs it, swings a noose, and hangs himself. The newspaper kid caught him the next morning, came down to sell his papes, and sees the swinging corpse. Runs back to tell the press, obviously. They say you can see the shadow of the swinging corpse on that window. Now, our camera cannot see through glass. So what we're looking for in the video tomorrow, hopefully, maybe we'll catch it tonight, is one of those glass window panes to turn a darker blue or black, which means something is influencing it from the inside. Does that make sense to everybody? So that's what we're looking for. We definitely want lots of pictures. Where did it go? Okay, you have it now. Guys are flipping around on me. So we definitely want lots of pictures. This is condos in the back, and it's turning into a wedding reception area in the front. So I don't know what the dynamic here is. If you don't get married in here, you'll be cursed. So there's another ghost that attaches itself to when I'm looking at this building. Where we came out of is Coogan Porch from Philadelphia Alley, 2 blocks away, going the opposite direction of Queen Street. That's a dog. We're not going to get the dog. But it used to be the home of Zoe Saint Amand. She had a French descent, and she was a school teacher. She likes to come through and give me her name, and it's spelled Z-O-E. I usually get it about twice a month, maybe 3 times if I'm lucky. So, the story goes is that Zoe actually died in the house by falling down the stairs. She lived there with her sister Elizabeth. You see all these clues I'm giving you for your spirit boxes? Elizabeth, Zoe, stairs. Sometimes she'll tell you what her house looks like now. And she's not going to say restaurant. She'll give you words like food, eat, fork, spoon. Very simple terms that'll come through. George is going to give us ship, pot, fire, dad, debt, those kind of things related to that story. Again, very simple 1 to 2 syllable words. It's a chilly night, and I doubt it's going to work tonight, but I normally will do an experiment with who's got the infrared gun?
Here.
Okay, so in the back of the building, you can see that peak at the top. In the front of the building, there's actually the same peak, but it's covered in stone. 5 feet below it is the same type of stone inlaid into the brick. At times, it can go up to 30 degrees difference. The top obviously being colder. Now, I would expect a 7 to 12 degree coming off of water on a calm night. Tonight's really breezy. I would actually expect it tonight to be at around 30 degree difference. I'm not going to run that experiment tonight just because it's too breezy. But I do test it, and it usually gives me the indication that there's more to be heard on the spirit boxes and the thermal imaging when it does have a colder presence. So that kind of gives you an idea of how we look at things. But tonight, it's going to be irrelevant. The breeze is going to be too much. It's going to be too hard to determine if it's actually true or not. So, again, you guys were ghost hunters for the night. What did you guys think before we go hit this building? Is this something different? Is this what you guys thought you were getting yourselves into? Good. Again, I just like to make sure everybody's intact with. I know I've asked you all that several times, but it's important to me to know like what I could change, and I've done a lot of work to alter the tour to make sure it's fun and exciting, and then you guys understand like tomorrow morning's gonna be even more exciting when I give it all back to you. So that way I can give you verifiable things. So, lasers are a no-go on East Bay when we get there. Spirit boxes are definitely up. EMF is going to go crazy on East Bay because of the parking meters. So you can pretty much ignore it once we get to the front of the building, and I will direct where we need film and the camera. So definitely listen to those spirit boxes pretty heavy. Let's listen for those kind of clues, and I'll have mine on as well. I'll stay ahead so I don't get the interaction with yours. So let's go see what we can capture out of the vlog film. I gotta be sick watching this video in the morning. I'm over here just step shows. I'm not feeling social.
Alright, here we go. There we go.
Turn that off once you get the newspaper boy. I shouldn't have trusted you with that.
Shouldn't have trusted you with the squares.
Take the camera back.
Busted.
I want to live there.
There's ice cream down there.
I'm down for that.
I love ice cream. We can get ice cream.
Get some Kaminsky's cake. We at least walk for an hour.
Can't breathe.
Ooh, it's cold. Someone touched my hand.
And now I'm feeling a paranormal activity.
There's a ghost. Where's the camera? Definitely want to be shooting on the second story for me, and I can always see what's going on in there. Did you guys hear anything along the way?
I might have heard a name, but I wasn't sure.
What name did you think you heard? You thought you heard Zoe? That's pretty awesome, because I haven't gotten anything yet besides the word error, and that was when we were still back at the art gallery. So, but again, I try to hold it close so that way you guys can hear too.
Yeah, it could have definitely been something else, though.
Yeah. So, again, I think it's irrelevant to do the thermo test. You can always verify with his camera. Alright, so I'm going to start collecting the devices that are irrelevant here. The lasers. A lot of blue windows. Yeah, and it should be blue. Yeah. What I'm looking for in the morning is for them to turn a darker blue or black. Mm-hmm. Because glass should always be colder than gray. That's just kind of how that works. You guys will see. I'll take the EMF because that's irrelevant. You get some pictures?
Well, they said it. My pictures
What
were
window
too
was
dark.
it in?
Are they supposed to be dark?
I can always lighten them. You're going to see where I lighten them up.
Great.
So that way we can actually see shadows. You guys are still looking at your box.
Yeah.
You guys are up for a minute. You guys I think they made it from Zoe. Again, I can verify that because
You were asking questions.
I'm all done.
I didn't hear anything.
I think we'll see what tomorrow with
And I didn't get anything on mine either.
Catch anything good?
So if I get anything, it usually shows up right away. Either Zoe or debt or something, very common. So like there was So again, this is a later investigation. And Friday and Saturday nights will be no lower activity because it's so hustle bustle down here. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, my best nights.
Dang.
I hate to tell you that, but it is. And new
Because
moons
that's
are great.
when less people are down here.
Correct.
Okay, so then you get more
I get more
activity.
activity.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I mean, look how many tours we ran into. Like, I'm actually pretty surprised. This feels like summertime.
Good staycation spot too.
It's, I mean, I'm busy for October, but I'm actually, with the way my business is growing, I'm expecting to be this busy in November. We've already gotten to the same 5 to 8% book for November.
Awesome. Wow. How long have you been doing this?
Over a year. As far as being a tour.
Yeah.
Like, if it goes something in general about not being a
Okay.
I lost count. So, alright, you get me
All
some
right.
good film?
I tried.
Alright,
You wanna
man.
end it?
Ah, we're still
Does
recording.
this pick up audio too?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're